Welcome to the 25th anniversary of Essentially Ellington, coming to you live from our virtual House of Swing here in New York City. My name is Todd Stoll. I'm the Vice President of Education at Jazz Lincoln Center. We're thrilled to have you all with us today for performances, commentary, and a celebration of some of the top youth jazz bands in the world. From Tokyo to Melbourne, Havana to the Bronx, and New York City to Seattle, our young people are playing this great music, and today we want to share it with all of you. Essentially Ellington began 25 years ago with generous support from our former board member, the late Jack Root. His wife, Susan, remains its champion today. Susan and Jack, along with Gail and Al Engelberg, created a generous endowment to sustain this program into the future. We would also like to thank Helen and Bob Appel, Jody and John Arnhold, our 25 for 25 donors who gave over $25,000, the EE Committee, the Augustine Foundation, the Charles Evans Hughes Memorial Fund, Con Edison, the Ella Fitzgerald Charitable Foundation, Entergy, and the Hearst Foundations for their support. Over the past 25 years, nearly 300,000 never-before-published scores have been distributed for free to schools worldwide, including such important works as Ellington's Harlem and The Tattooed Bride, Dizzy Gillespie's Tour de Force on Things to Come, Mary Lou Williams music, Benny Carter, Gerald Wilson, and so many others. The quality of our music has never wavered. From our beginnings in the 1995-96 school year, with 50 schools over a 3-state region, our network now extends to nearly 7,000 schools across the US and internationally into 55 countries. With online resources viewed by millions, a network of regional festivals, masterclasses, and workshops by our own Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, we are committed to bringing people together through this incredible music. And today, while we are not physically together, we know that our virtual House of Swing will help create the feeling of unity to which we all aspire. And now let's get started with the bands. From that hotbed of Midwestern swing, the state of Wisconsin, here is Beloit Memorial High School from Beloit, Wisconsin.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Behrens, and I am the director of the Beloit Memorial Jazz Orchestra from Beloit, Wisconsin. We are proud and honored to be one of the 23 bands you will hear today as part of the 25th annual Essentially Ellington Festival. Before introducing our selection, I would like to pass along a few thank yous. First, a huge thank you to Wynton Marsalis, Todd Stoll, Antoinette Henry, Megan Kelly, and the entire Jazz at Lincoln Center staff for making this festival happen. It would have been very, very easy to cancel yet another event, and we are so grateful for this experience for our students and the jazz community. Jazz at Lincoln Center also needs our support, and we hope that if you're watching this and enjoying this event, you will consider making a donation to this great organization. Second, I would like to thank all of our supporters back home in Beloit, starting with our parents, friends, family, community, and our very supportive district administration. Thank you for your continuous and endearing support of the performing arts. Finally, I would like to thank all my students and acknowledge their passion and dedication to this music. This has been a tough end of the school year for many, many reasons, but with adversity comes strength and resilience, and we will get through this, and I believe emerge as better and stronger people. Now to the music. You will hear our performance of a Duke Ellington classic composed in 1928 entitled The Mooch. It will feature Olivia Garcia on the trumpet, Naoki Nikora on clarinet, Caleb Otto on trombone, and Gabe Wick on the guitar.
Todd.
And that was Beloit Memorial High School from Beloit, Wisconsin, playing the Mooch. We're here with their director, Chris Behrens, and one of our judges, Winton Marcellus. Winton, you have some thoughts on that?
First, I want to congratulate Chris. It's great to see him. Always a fantastic band, great direction. I like the beginning, something a little different. Great clarinets. They were just swinging and playing with a lot of swag. I need for our brass to maintain the momentum that's built up by the reeds when we get to the bridge section. For our brass players, we need to breathe and get much fuller sounds. We need life in the dotted half notes underneath the melody, and also we need to balance under the lead trumpet. So when we have long extended notes, we have to keep life in the note, keep a vibrato and a feeling. Don't let those long notes die. Excellent clarinet solo by Naoki. We have a few little problems at beginning, but great. Good arrangement. I like the way you changed the arrangement. Caleb's trombone solo, very expressive. The rhythm section, we can kind of plot a little bit. The bass and the drums, we have to balance the top and the bottom. The most difficult thing in jazz and in swing is to balance the top rhythm and the bottom. It's just like everything else. Extremes tend to not want to get together. That's what our music forces us to do. The trombone solo was played with unbelievable energy. I want you to develop a little more, Caleb, more vocabulary and more of these vocalisms with the mute. Just get in a mirror and practice like you're talking to yourself. Gabe, great guitar solo, good concept. I want you to also develop more vocabulary in this style. We can never learn enough. You know, everything is additive. And when you add more elements to your style, it's just like knowing more information, knowing more people, it makes you better. I want my drummer, I don't want you plodding. Make sure you're always keeping kind of life and feeling in motion. The more bottom on the groove and what I call a percussive gait. So, but I can say going out, I really love my clarinets and I love the trumpet answers, but also I want you to be really vocal. Look in the mirror at the bottom of that plunger mute and make it be like a lower jaw and just start talking to yourself. Overall, excellent performance. Chris, fantastic job, and thank you.
Thank you, Win.
Chris?
Yeah, it's that was a tune we selected for. The main reason was just to feature some soloists, and it was a lot different than the other two selections. We did Harlem Airshaft and Sugar Hill, and I love the different versions that Ellington has done over the last, his 45-year career. And we drew some influence from the Great Paris concert, and wanted to try to do something different with it. It's not played very often. We had the clarinets to pull it off, and that's some tricky playing. Right. Clarinets have to negotiate there.
Chris, you want to introduce your students that are with us here?
Absolutely. We have both seniors graduated now. Caleb trombonist on the tune, and you also heard Olivia Garcia was doing the trumpet fills, the beginning and the end.
Awesome.
Okay, where's Olivia? Good job too, Olivia. I didn't mention you, but you were getting me with some good vocalisms too. Now you were jumping in there. I'm proud of you. I didn't get you by name. I'm working by rote, but congratulations on what you were playing. I like you at the end too. A lot of expressive playing. This kind of stuff is hard to do with this plunger mute. Fantastic.
So Caleb, tell us, what are you doing next year? You graduated, what are you doing?
Next year, I'm going to be going to the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, and probably for some type of engineering. I haven't decided on that yet. And then after that, I'm probably going to end up going Marines. So.
Okay. And Olivia?
I'll be going to Northern Illinois University and majoring in music education.
Awesome.
Great. Hey, what both of y'all are doing is fantastic. Never forget your horns. Whatever you do, you're going to music education, you're going into engineering. Composition is engineering. Never, stay on top. Look forward to seeing y'all somewhere out here on the road. Don't be strangers. Be friendly.
That's it. Again, thank you for a great performance. Congratulations, Chris and Caleb and Olivia. And we're going to go on now with a quick message from Jazz at Lincoln Center.
Todd, you're live.
Next up, first time EE finalist from the Bronx, New York, home of our own Carlos Enriquez, Celia Cruz High School, and their director, Penny Smithers-Giacono.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here and we're representing the Bronx today. We want to say thank you so much to Antoinette, Todd, Megan, Steve, and everyone at Jazz at Lincoln Center for making this happen. We have a lot of thank yous to give. This has been a long journey for us to make it to the final. We'd like to thank, first of all, our friends and families, including mine, the administration, faculty, and staff at Celia Cruz, Jared Mabry Principal, our partner organizations, Lehman College, Exploring the Arts, Jazz Empowers, Jazzmobile, Midori and Friends, Bronx Arts Ensemble, our founder, William Rodriguez, my awesome team of middle school educators who are helping to build musical pipelines here in the Bronx, the many, many great artists who have worked with this band, Alan Molnar, Walter Barrett, Annette Aguilar, Justin DeChocho, Eli Yeaman, Jarrett Steele, Todd Stoll, Jerome Jennings, Vince Gardner, Kenny Rampton, Alexa Tarantino, James Burton, Carlos Henriquez, and many more. There is no greater time than now to remember the lives of the Black musicians who gifted us this music and that all Black lives matter. Big Band, I am unbelievably proud of you and the spirit that you bring to this music, and I'm honored to be your teacher. Today you will hear our band play Isfahan, featuring Kevin Hilario on alto sax. We hope that our music will bring you as much joy as learning and performing it has brought to us.
And that was Celia Cruz High School from the Bronx, New York, playing Duke Ellington's Isfahan from the Far East Suite. We're here with Penny Smetters-Jacano and Wynton Marcellus. Wynton, you have some comments on that performance.
First, it's good to see Penny. Great. We have a connection with Jack Rudin, who is the leadership founder of this program, went to DeWitt Clinton High School. I first met Penny at DeWitt Clinton. She was there and she's done such a fantastic job. Congratulations on the job you've done with your excellent band. Great expressive alto saxophone playing by Kevin. I think just the originality in the expression and the feeling is really uplifting and very different in each section that he plays in. I think I want to hear the trombone section have an understanding of how to give the call and response with the saxophone solo. There's a tendency when you're playing a part to not really pay attention to something that's not just your part. So we want to be more vocal when we follow that lead. 4 bars after beat, the bass stops playing. We need to keep momentum always at the bottom because we don't really dance to this style of music that much anymore. It's important for us to get our kids into dancing. Trombones play better in time at letter C. Expressive saxophones, once again, Kevin, I want you to learn these changes, son. You're playing, this is a difficult song to play. So you're playing with all the expression, but I want you to add those changes to that. It showed up on the bridge too when you went to answer the ensemble. The bridge, great feeling on my lead trumpet. The ensemble, however, has to cut off and really follow that lead so that it's like one voice. A great pickup to letter E with the alto. Kevin played fantastic. 2 before letter G, the baritone and the bass need to be together. Sometimes horn players with rhythm section players, we have to be listening across the ensemble at all times. Softer background saxophones. I want y'all listening to Kevin when he's soloing. Sometimes we get involved in our part. We don't listen to the solo. My trombone players, let's get with that intonation. Y'all got slides. There's no reason to not be in tune. Good saxes and trombones on the last 8 bars. You all did something that I didn't hear a lot of because the trombones, the sax, and the bass were perfectly together and great dynamics at the end. Great job. And thank y'all so much. Penny, A+.
Thank you so much.
Penny, who do you have with us here in the chat room?
So we have the alto sax soloist here, Kevin Hilario, with us.
Kevin, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Okay, we're waiting to see some ID, son. Where's that ID?
Kevin, can you talk a little bit about how you approached this solo? Like, what did you listen to? Who were your inspirations?
Well, my inspirations were Johnny Hodges and Sherman Irby.
That's 2 good inspirations. You play great, man.
Thank you.
You know, where are you going to school next year?
I'm going to City College of New York.
Well, you're going to be around. Don't be a stranger. I want to see you at some of these rehearsals, man.
All right.
You know, that's great. City system is such a great system.
He's going to be jazz majoring too. World better look out. Here he comes.
He should be. He should be. Fantastic. You know where we are. We always rehearsing on 59th Street. Let's see you. Yep. Come in here with your horn. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also want to say, Kevin is a product of your middle school jazz academy. He started what, 7th grade, Kevin? 8th grade, and then all the way up through high school as well. So it's got a lot of great influence on his playing.
Hey, that makes us so proud, and you know we're proud of you. We hope that the experience added something that you'll remember. But you're with us now, so you know now I'll be able to mess with you and say, yeah, I used to be in the middle school like I do Carlos. You know, you have to tell me, man, stop saying that. But fantastic. You know, we're so proud of you and your achievement.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Todd.
No, go ahead. The band has a lot of seniors in it, right? Talk a little bit just before we wrap up here about the feeling in the band. It really, at the time I visited, it felt very, very familial. People together like a family.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're a family. We were just talking yesterday about what makes such a big difference with this group is how much they trust each other. When we're talking about improvising and we were talking about the jam session and in Winton's talk yesterday, this band, they really have a relationship like that. They trust each other and they're comfortable enough to shout each other out when they make mistakes and encourage each other when they're headed in the right direction. It's a really, really special group this year.
That's awesome. Any final comments, Kevin?
Nope, I am glad that essentially Ellington was not canceled and is doing it virtually. It brings great honor that coming from New York after decades of not being in it, we're able to represent.
That's great, man. Again, congratulations, Penny and Kevin, and everyone up at the school up in the Bronx. We're just so proud of you.
Great
We're gonna
job.
go to our first
Penny.
West Coast band, and introduce now from Agora Hills, California, Agora High School, and their director Chad Bloom.
Good afternoon. I'm Chad Bloom from Agora High School. We're extremely honored to be taking part in this historic presentation of Essentially Ellington. Our school's participation in Essentially Ellington over the years has given way to an endless source of inspiration for our students, community, and myself as an educator. I'd like to take a moment to thank my colleagues at Agora High, Mr. Bob Hackett, Caroline Beal, and Jordan Lewis, along with guest clinicians, Mr. Ronald Carter, and a retired AHS music director, Mr. John Mosley. I'd also like to thank our principal of Agora High School, Dr. Stephanie McClay, the Los Virgenes Board of Education and Cabinet, and our middle school music directors, Dr. Greg Freed, Daniel Procker, and Matt McKagan. Finally, I'd like to thank our EE band mentor, Kenny Rampton, along with Wynton Marsalis and the entire Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, and most importantly, my students and parents supporting the program. We would like to kick it off with Harlem Air Shaft by Duke Ellington. You're going to hear from, in order of appearance, Ben Rosen on trombone, Benny Kahn on trombone, Andrew Tannenbaum on clarinet, Cole Petridis on trombone, Eliana Rojani on alto saxophone, Matteo Possarelli on trumpet, and Alan Green on clarinet. Thank you.
That was Agora Hills High School from Agora Hills, California, directed by Chad Bloom. We're here in our chat room talking about their performance of Harlem Air Shaft with Wynton Marcellus and Chad and a couple students. Wynton, you have some comments on Harlem Air Shaft.
First, of course, congratulations to Chad. Fantastic job of directing. I want to say y'all was swinging from the start. You have all the sections are good. Good sax, good trombone, good rhythm section. My trumpets dragged just a little bit, but they still played it great. That's very difficult to play. It seems like it's easy. You want to come up with kind of vocal ways to do it. I'll never forget Clark Terry telling me how to play that. He was singing it. One problem I think that we have to consider with all of our bands is how do we get the bottom of our ensembles clearer? It's like foundations and fundamentals of anything, the fundamentals of the Constitution. How do we make that bass so that it's so clear and the bass drum is playing on every beat with it? So I think I couldn't hear as much of the finger of the bass. It could be, of course, also the recording, but let's concentrate on this on the bottom of the band. Now, I want to comment on Benny. Excellent trombone solo, even though I was a little bit miffed that it replaces a trumpet solo. I don't want to hear that ever happen again. But hey, Chad put you in a bad situation, but I have to say, Benny, you did a great, fantastic job of it. I love my saxophone section and the way they play and the breaks. Everybody is not with the lead. It's not just a matter of rhythm. When you play with a lead, it has to also be a matter of intention. You have to really want to give yourself over to that lead part and anticipate things. We play music at the speed of instinct. We don't have time to think. We just get in there. We feel it as we go along, but we're very responsive. I want to commend Andrew's clarinet playing was unbelievable. Okay, you could have more vocabulary, of course, we all could, but I thought your playing was just so intelligent and refined. Cole, excellent trombone. Ileana, great original approach on the alto saxophone. I want to talk about Ileana's use of the augmented sound and the thematic development in the solo. Very difficult to develop this skill. The ensemble could be a little more balanced in the end with the lead trumpet on the shout chorus. We need more second trumpet. Whoever was playing lead on this section, once again, could be the recording. I think Andrew, the solo coming back again, also fantastic. I want you to concentrate on when you play a call and response. Listen to that ensemble part, and I want you to talk back to me in your most powerful register, as if we're having a conversation. It's a great ending. I'm very proud of this band and of your performance. And I know I only wish Duke were alive to hear it. He would say they were swinging. So thank y'all.
Chad, any thoughts?
I just want to say thank you for all the feedback. It's great. This is a tune that's really special to me because I began my teaching career in New York City, up in Harlem. So it was
okay. There you go.
I had a unique experience there, and we chose this tune because, like Wynton says, when you talk about soulful playing, you always want to choose the most soulful piece, and we thought that this one was it. But I have with me Benny and Andrew if they would like to speak about it at all.
Yeah, Benny, go ahead.
Talk about what it's like to replace a trumpet.
Well, I did have to channel a little bit of my inner Louis Armstrong. I was listening to a lot of that before. Mr. Bloom actually told me specifically to try to scream like Louis Armstrong while I'm playing.
You did great. I could hear it. I could hear like the vocabulary. Playing the quarter notes is very different from eighth notes. So fantastic.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Andrew?
Yeah, Harlem Air Shaft is a collection of different stories, different people's stories. And being able to play that clarinet solo, I was able to put in my own story and become my own person along the Harlem Air Shaft. Great too. Happy to be here.
So Andrew, are you a senior? You're graduating this year?
Yeah, I'm a senior. I'm headed to UCLA this fall for global jazz studies.
Awesome. And Benny, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to be going to the Manhattan School of Music next year for jazz.
Okay, you another one. We want to see you in rehearsals.
For sure.
You in Manhattan. I don't want to hear all this, I just about my horn. I show up, show with your horn, get around the trombone, this section. And we need you in global jazz studies. That's something very important. That's what we're trying to do. So I'll tell you, like I tell all my young people, we need you out here. We want you to be active. We want you to be vocal. Do your thing. We need you.
Amen. Again, congratulations. Congratulations, Chad, Agora Hills High School. Congratulations, Benny, Andrew, and the entire band. And let's take another moment for a brief message from Jazz at Lincoln Center. And now for our first international band, all the way from Barcelona, Spain, directed by Joan Chamorro, legendary group over there called Sant Andreu Jazz Band, playing Ellington's arrangement of his composition, Sophisticated Lady.
Good afternoon, buenos días, bon dia from Barcelona. My name is Joan Chamorro, and I am the founder and director of the San Andreu Jazz Band. Our band was founded 14 years ago, and today more than 60 young students between the age of 6 to 21 have played with the band. The San Andreu Jazz Band is a self-funded independent project, and students don't have to pay for tuition. We are really excited to participate in Essentially Ellington. For us, Duke Ellington is integral, fundamental, and inspiring, fueling or learning through songs like Sophisticated Lady and musicians like Harry Carney, Johnny Hodges, Clark Terry, Paul Gonsalves, Ben Wester, to name a few. Ellington's music is essential to us. Thank you, and on behalf of the San Andreu Jazz Band, happy 25th anniversary, EE. Thank you.
That was the Sant Andreu Jazz Band from Barcelona, Spain, directed by Joan Chamorro, doing their version of Sophisticated Lady. We're here with Wynton Marsalis. Some comments on that performance.
Well, I think excellent soloist. The saxophone section really sounds great. Good quarter notes they're playing. They're swooping and swaying and playing with a lot of soul and feeling. This band actually opened for us when we played in Barcelona 3 or 4 months ago, 5 months. I'm losing track of time.
Like the last gig, right?
Yeah, it was like one of our last gigs, and they are fantastic. We have to make sure not to drag when the entire ensemble plays quarter notes. So there's so much rhythmic diversity normally in a piece that the pull of the rhythms against each other creates a momentum. When we all go da, 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 when we play in the same time, we naturally start to pull intensity in those notes. Great Barry solo by Alba, fantastic, playing with expression, very difficult song, also harmonically sophisticated, good understanding of how to play on these chords. This is one of the most difficult songs to play to make melodic sense of a solo in a difficult harmonic environment. The rhythm section, I want y'all to get a little more of a light dance feel. It could be achieved by getting a band to learn swing dancing. Every musical solution does not have to be music. Sometimes we go into life, this is dance music. It's important for us to learn how to dance in either case. And swing dancing is a great way to play this type of music. The trombones, when we get to this part, I need you to play a lot crisper. You think it's 3 of y'all playing. You did a good job of controlling your volume, but I want you to jump on top of that rhythm. And remember, in jazz, every horn is also a drum. Rhythm section important for us to maintain a balance between the high sound of the cymbal, which is in 6, and the sound of the bass, which is in 4. Also to remember that swing, the rhythm, basically lays out in 8 beat cycles. So you got 6 on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ding, 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 ding. You got 4, doom, 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 doom. And if it's swing, it's 8, doom, doom, ding, doom, ding, doom, ding, ding, dong, boom, dong, dong. You rearticulate. Yep. Now that's a little longer than Todd wants me to go, but I wanted to give y'all a little extra information because we're going across the water.
The 8-beat cycle, it's very important. All right, thank you, Wynton. I'd like to introduce our next band from Plano, Texas, directed by Preston Pierce, Plano West Senior High School.
Hello, my name is Preston Pierce, and we're the Plano West Jazz Orchestra from Plano, Texas. I would like to say thank you to Plano ISD Superintendent Sarah Bonser, Kathy Cudis, and Jeremy Condrat, Fine Arts Coordinators, Janice Williams, our principal, and the rest of the administration. Thank you to my coworkers, Jackie and Justin. I couldn't ask for 2 better people to work with. Thank you to our booster club, our middle school, high school band directors, and private lesson teachers, our mentors and clinicians this year, Ted Nash, Bart Morantz, Stockton Helbing and the Helbing Jazz Initiative, Justin DeChocho, Ron Carter, J.B. Dias, and the Herbie Hancock Institute Jazz for supporting our program. Thank you to my parents for the years of support and love. Thank you to my wife. She keeps things together at home, and I couldn't do this without her love and support. There are not enough words to express my gratitude to Wynton Marsalis, the entire Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, Todd, Antoinette, Megan, and the EE staff. I have so much love and respect for you all. Jazz is an American art form known for giving a voice to the voiceless. I consider it a privilege and honor to teach, study, and perform this music as it continues to bring awareness to issues of social justice during this important moment in history. I hope you enjoy our recording of Benny Carter's Moving Uptown. You're going to hear from Alec Yoon on alto sax, Ahmed McLemore on bass, Chris Gaffar on tenor sax, Connor McLeod on alto sax, and Coleman Burks on drums. Enjoy.
That was Plano West Senior High School from Plano, Texas. We're here with Winton Marcellus and their director, Preston Pierce. Winton, you have some comments on that performance of moving up.
First, just to congratulate Preston, fantastic job. You know, I love what you did with your band. I'm take some of my comments. It's because of the recording is in kind of a dry room, so it tends to kind of take the power away from the brass. So they might not all be accurate. I want you to come in big, firing on all cylinders, and all horns have to know and follow the lead trumpet. I don't know what it is. People try to run away from that trumpet. Embrace lead trumpet at all times.
Amen.
Really, really good saxes, good trombone answers. I think really good. The band was playing very intelligently. Everybody knew where the call and responses were. I want you to play with full sounds on these quarter notes. Tap, bop, bop, bop. Sometimes we play short rhythms. We peck them like chickens. I want to just feel a little more. We could have been doing it. It could have been the recording. Another thing on the recording, I want to hear more attack of the bass. Remember, I mean, when you're dealing with your sound, if you just turn up an amp sound of a small sound, it's just a louder version of a smaller sound. I'm not saying that you have a small sound now because I couldn't tell from the recording, but you can't avoid getting those ugly fingers. You play bass, that's what it's about. When we get the pickups to the bridge, we should play with another type of feeling. Recommit ourselves to the song. It was a great call and response with the saxes in the 8 bars of C. Brass at that section were not following the lead trumpet the way they should. And when the saxes joined at D, the intensity of vibrato and the phrasing should come from the lead trumpet. You know, saxophone's always running from trumpet players trying to establish their own thing. Part of being in a group is you have to know when you go from being your section to the horn section. More engaged drums with all the space on the bridge. I need you getting up in there. I want more commitment to the phrases at the end of forms. The end of a form is also the beginning of the next section. So we're kind of in a no person's land. When you get into that land, be committed to the end of things. More bite in the brass and starch in the saxophones, more attack. Now I want to talk about my guitar and piano. Y'all are in the same comp space. Y'all got to get out of the comp space. Somebody's playing quarter notes, somebody's playing a single line, somebody's in upper register, somebody in lower register. Decide how you want to comp with each other and make an intelligent decision to create space for soloists. Comp to the solo. Don't give a generic accompaniment. That's like being on the phone going, like what Todd is doing right now while I'm talking. I'm trying to rush through, Preston. I heard you deliver all your things. I got two or three more things. I want to say, Ahmed, good bass solo. I want you to get on these chord changes. You play with the great feeling. Now I want you to fill everything in. Alec, beautiful alto playing. I want you to add blues vocabulary to that beautiful lyricism you had. Chris on the tenor, Con on alto, all of y'all are all players. There's a lot of good educating going on there, Preston, because you got all your kids playing and addressing the vocabulary of the music. Attack dynamics. Our crescendo was not strong enough at letter O. Coleman, good drum solo. I could go on and on, but I'm not. They're putting a lot of pressure on me. I want to say one more thing, and that is a great ending with the chord present. And I think that you all stopped all together, and it was a fantastic way to end your piece. A really, really excellently directed band with great soloists. Fantastic, and thank y'all.
Thank you, Win. Thank you.
Thank you. Preston, who do you have with us here?
So we have both seniors, Ahmed McLemore, our bassist, and we have Jatin Himatsinghani as our lead trumpet player.
Oh, lead trumpet.
Follow
so
him.
let's start.
Don't run from
Ahmed, how do you feel about the band's performance on this tape?
I think it went really, really well, like better than we expected it to go. But I feel like we focused so much on our technique that we kind of lost the soul part, and that was something we kind of struggled with a lot. But other than that, we sounded fine to me.
I'm gonna agree. What are you doing next year, Ahmed?
Oh, I'm studying jazz performance at Oberlin Conservatory.
Great, man. Root for the Buckeyes. And our lead trumpet player, how do you feel about that?
Man, I really loved the run. I agree with him. I feel like we did focus on, maybe that second or third run on the technical spot. We lose it kind of the feeling, but I really appreciate what we did, all the work that we put into this tune. So,
well, look, your plans next year?
Sorry?
Your plans next year?
Oh, I plan on studying trumpet performance for Manhattan School of Music.
Okay,
here we go.
We want to see you at rehearsals. I see you. And I want to say you didn't lose the feeling. Y'all need to play with that lead trumpet.
Yeah.
you were playing some lead.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Great,
right.
y'all.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the Plano West High School and Preston Pierce, director. And here's another message from Jazz at Lincoln Center. We're back here at the virtual House of Swing, the 25th anniversary of our international Essentially Ellington. Coming up next, Rio Americano High School from Sacramento, California, directed by a native New Yorker, Josh Murray.
Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Murray, band director at Rio Americano High School in Sacramento, California. The Essentially Ellington Festival is far and away the finest program with which I have ever been associated. Our sincere thanks go out to all of the festival staff. I would also like to thank my teaching partner, Mitch Evett, as well as the Rio Band parents and community, and especially our dedicated and spirited students for their hard work. Now, current events highlight the need for educators to use jazz as a way to engage in frank, difficult, and often uncomfortable conversations with students about race and the brutal history that is at the heart of the creation of the music we all hold dear. These conversations give students a deeper connection to the music they are playing and help create informed citizens who are equipped to stand up for social justice. It's our moral obligation. Now, you'll hear our version of Dizzy Gillespie's A Night in Tunisia, featuring Michael Gilbert on bass, Grayson Cliff on the trombone, Sam Flores on guitar, Ellie Wu on the piano, Jackson Irvine on vibraphone, and Grady Flam on trumpet. Thank you.
That was Rio Americano High School from Sacramento, California, directed by Josh Murray, playing Dizzy Gillespie's Night in Tunisia. We're here with Josh Murray and Alexa Tarantino. Alexa, you have some thoughts on that particular performance?
Thanks, Todd. Great job, everybody. Nice to see you all. Sending good vibes. I loved that performance. Awesome energy all around. The shaping and the attention to dynamics and articulation was great. I would have loved to hear that first trombone melodic solo come out of the gate even more with some fire behind it. And I think, in general, just continuing using, as much clarity as possible in our improvised solos, really digging into the time. But in general, loved the releases, loved that bass intro, and keep it going. Keep that spirit and energy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Josh, any feedback?
No, I mean, I was really pleased with it. I know that our kids were working really hard, and we decided to sort of throw that bass intro on the front, and Michael Gilbert really did a heck of a job playing that. And then we put a lot of the things in the able hands of our soloists and Grady Flam over there on trumpet.
Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about your programming choices. You'd had a very wide variety of styles. How did you make that choice?
Well, it's always, you got to look at what's going to work best for your band. So you got to look at the makeup of the band each year and figure out what charts are going to fit best, so that you make the choices that work best for the kids, that they're going to enjoy playing and really, invest their own personalities in, and that's going to showcase the band to the best, because you want to get into the Essentially Ellington Festival.
And who do you have with us? You have a couple students with us.
Yeah, we've got our lead trumpet player who was featured on that tune, Grady Flam, who's a senior or just graduated. And then we have a junior alto sax and clarinet player. We have Catherine Treadwell.
Great. Grady and Catherine, glad you could join us. Catherine, how are you feeling about the performance we just heard?
I'm really proud of it, honestly. We put a lot of effort into it and a lot of hard work, a lot of sectionals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And Grady, how about you?
I feel great about the performance. I tried to do my best to honor the great Dizzy Gillespie, but as we all know, he and perhaps Louis Armstrong are the two most inimitable trumpet players. I mean, in my opinion, just between the virtuosity and everything else. So, had to really dig deep to try to do it justice. But I just hope that I did a good job with that. So, but I feel good about the performance. I thought it's a good presentation. Captured this band very well.
Alexa, do you have any comments on Grady's solo on Night in Tunisia?
Yeah, it was great. Great energy, great range, and definitely in the spirit of Dizzy. And of course, I agree with you, two very, both of those trumpet players, big shoes to fill, but very impressed, and just wishing you the best of luck. Keep it up, and, stick with your own original voice too. I love that you had your own ideas in there as well. So just keep up the good work.
One of the things that was mentioned in the judges meeting was that you're one of the first trumpet players that's played. Wasn't played today live, but you recorded Portrait of Louis Armstrong, and you didn't quote Wynton.
Yeah, I knew that was definitely a little bit of that song is a rite of passage for a lot of trumpet players, but it also has a certain kind of minefield you have to avoid. People, it's been so played, and you have to, carve out your own space and add something original to it. So I tried to listen to previous versions of course, Wynton. I tried to, evoke him, but not imitate him. But and just previous versions of, musicians from Rio, people who have played it before, and just so many great versions that I tried to encapsulate in that one. So thank you.
And Grady, what are you doing next year?
I'll be studying jazz studies at the University of Southern California, the Thornton School of Music.
And Catherine, we assume you're going to go back to Rio Americano for a senior year, or are you to declare yourself a professional and sign with the band?
No, I'm going to go to Rio.
Oh, maybe we'll see you next year. Again, congratulations, Josh, Grady, and Catherine. Congratulations to the whole band and the community. Just a wonderful performance. We hope you stay safe out there, and we'll see you again. Hopefully we'll see you next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we have Garfield High School, longtime finalist band from Seattle, Washington, directed by Jared Sessink.
Hello from Seattle. I want to start by just thanking Jazz at Lincoln Center for making this event so special despite the circumstances. It's been a great way to end the school year. I know all of us in Seattle, we're so grateful. Big thank you to our students, families, the administration at Garfield for the continued support, keeping our program running, to the Garfield Jazz Foundation for all their volunteer efforts, Caroline Platt, is our board president, and Trina Torgelson, who is moving on after 6 years of active volunteer efforts. And a special thanks to Mike Sunt, who is our assistant jazz director and a good friend of mine. I'd also like to give recognition to Clarence Acox, who retired from Garfield after 48 years of teaching. From the entire Garfield community, we love you and we thank you for all you've done for our school community and for jazz education across the globe. Got to give a quick shout out to my mom back in Michigan, who's celebrating her birthday today. If you're watching, Mom, happy birthday. And this is a selection from Duke Ellington's Far East Suite, and we'll be featuring our alto saxophonist, Sam Jelpy. And I want to dedicate this performance to the Garfield class of 2020. Congratulations to all of you. And with that, we hope you enjoy. This is Duke Ellington's Isfahan, presented by Garfield High School Jazz Ensemble.
And that was Garfield High School from Seattle, Washington, directed by Jared Sessink, playing Duke Ellington's Isfahan. We are here in the chat room with Judge Alexa Tarantino and band director Jared, along with a couple of students. Alexa, do you have some thoughts about that performance? You being an alto saxophonist, I'm sure you've played Isfahan. Do you have some thoughts about this particular piece?
Yes, thank you, Todd. Of course. Well, first of all, congratulations. It's great to see you all. Great to hear Garfield. Isfahan is such an interesting song. It seems very simple, but it's deceptive. And I really appreciated how you started with such a gentle volume right from the start and gave it a place to grow. I would encourage, the saxophone section had a great unison intonation and vibe, I felt. Sam, I would encourage you to really focus on how you're ending your notes. I think that was sort of my one comment. Think about how can you treat things differently with vibrato or with no vibrato, using a straight tone ending. For me, it felt like the ends of your notes were often very similar throughout, and I think in a ballad, and especially in a Johnny Hodges-esque piece, the end of a note actually can really be very important and make a big difference in our phrasing. Other than that, I would encourage alto 2 to really step up there when alto 1 is being featured. Take that lead moment. Trombones, keep those releases nice and clean as you can. And in terms of alto scoops, I made a joke that I'm going to do a national tour about alto scoops. Just make sure that we're aiming for that target pitch no matter what, to make sure that you get up there at the end. But Sam, overall, great phrasing. Nice work, Garfield. Jared, great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to meet you too.
Any reflections on that, Jared?
We have Sam Jelpy. He's the lead alto player who played on that. And yeah, I think I picked this chart in part because it's one of Johnny Hodges's kind of, I don't know, it's just a more subtle, expressive piece. And Sam has that kind of sound. And I think that this piece really fit the band this year. I think it was a really genuine interpretation, and Sam did a really great job having his own voice in the recording, but also kind of honoring the original. And then we also have Colm Scott, who is our graduating bass player, who also had a really important role in this tune. It's hard to keep things tight. Like, this tune is way harder than it seems,
Yeah, exactly.
But they did a great job.
Sam, do you have any comments?
No, not really. It was a tough song to learn for sure. It took a lot of focused practice and a lot of listening. I probably listened to it for like more than 20 hours total. It was a lot of just over and over in the car, wherever I was. Yeah. Just to make sure that I had it ingrained in my head. Yeah.
Did you listen to different versions of it, or did you just play the recording from the Far East suite?
So the original was the one I listened to the most. I like the Sherman Irby one that they played last year as like the send-off concert at the end of Ellington last year. And then there's actually a Joe Henderson version, which he plays it medium swing, which is, it doesn't really apply that much to playing it as a ballad, but it's like, it's more just thinking about the changes and the harmony in the song. And that really helped me kind of get a grasp of that. So yeah.
And Colm, how do you feel about your performance on this track we just heard?
Well, it's an interesting chart to play as a bassist because there's no piano. So I'm really, in addition to holding down the groove and the feel and the time, I'm also kind of taking on the role of the pianist. So just in terms of the notes that I pick, I try to be a little bit more colorful and fill up the space a little bit more in terms of the chord progression. And I really liked the precision work on this piece. Like, we would spend so long working on just one chord and one voicing and kind of really just trying to perfect the intonation. And I feel like I really like doing that kind of really detailed, intense work. And so that was a lot of fun for me on this piece.
And Colm, you're graduating. What are you doing next year?
I'm going to UBC, British Columbia. Yeah.
And Sam, how about you?
I'm going to University of Vermont in Burlington.
Oh, you'll be near us. Come visit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Again, congratulations. Congratulations to the whole band. Congratulations, Jared. Band just sounded wonderful. Hope you had a great rest of your year. And maybe we'll see you again next year back at EE here in New York.
Right on. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Right after this quick break, we've got more Essentially Ellington coming right back at you. From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Dillard Center for the Arts, directed by Christopher Dorsey.
We are Dillard.
Go, Chris.
We are Dillard Center for the Arts out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we are happy to be able to participate in the Essentially Ellington anniversary version, the 25th year. I want to take this moment to thank Jazz at Lincoln Center for making sure that our young people got a chance to participate in this virtual festival. I also like to thank, most importantly, the Dillard community, the school board of Broward County, the superintendent, our very supportive principal, the faculty and the staff, and the teachers in the Dillard Performing Arts Center. I also want to say a few shout outs to the Dark Foundation, Old Dillard Museum, Gold Coast, Jazz Society, and the Community Foundation. But more importantly, I want to thank my students. My students are the most important aspect of this because they're living in unprecedented times. And I just want to tell them to keep their heads up and remember that this is a very special time that they're living in, and I want them to move forward. A lot of them are graduating, and I want to congratulate them. But we're at Dillard Center for the Arts, and we are very proud to be here.
That was Chris Dorsey and the Dillard Center for the Arts with their version of Chinoiserie from Duke Ellington from 1971 from the Afro-Eurasian Eclipse. We're here with Mr. Dorsey, one of our judges, Alexa Tarantino. Alexa, some thoughts on that particular performance.
Thanks, Todd. Hi, Chris. Great to see you all. Congratulations to Dillard. I loved this interpretation of Chinoiserie, one of my favorites. As soon as I hear it, I just get up and dance, and your version was no exception. Killing rhythm section trio up at the top, that pianist was rocking that. I loved it. And I know we have one of our alto players and trombonists here, and I just wanted to give a shout out. I felt that the tutti ensemble sound was super strong in terms of section, blend, intonation, really great. And in terms of the soloists, also great interpretations. The lead alto at times felt to me like perhaps he or she was just getting slightly behind, really like digging in on playing things a little bit fat, but a little bit, sometimes we were kind of leaning back a little too much in my opinion. But so I just encourage people to use that attitude and use that almost more as a spice, throwing that in later on in terms of inflecting phrases in that way. But overall, awesome interpretation, great vocabulary, great ideas. Trombone had really nice rhythmic development, and alto was really expressing a lot of different harmonic ideas. So thank you. Really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Chris, I heard your band in December at a conference, the Midwest Conference in Chicago.
Yes.
And I've heard a lot of your bands over the years. You've been to EE a bunch of times. Can you talk a little bit about this year's group of students and what might separate them, or what was different about them this year?
Well, I think one of the biggest things was the word on the street was, well, they don't have no superstar soloists. And I always take those things back to the band. And I let them know. I said, yeah, man, they talking about you guys saying no superstars in the band. But the biggest thing was the band really worked hard. These kids work hard. And the rhythm section, I picked that tune because of the rhythm section, the work they put in. And I was like, wow. So It was just
And you
a
had just,
cohesiveness.
yeah, you had only one drummer and one bass player this year, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
think that
First
made a
time.
difference?
It made a big difference. It made a big difference. Big difference. You know, when you have only one drummer, that one drummer got to lay everything down every day.
That's our man. What's his name again?
Miguel.
Miguel Russell.
Yeah, Miguel Russell. He's going to be in New York this fall.
Great. And who do you have here with us? You want to introduce your students for
Yes,
us?
we got Nathaniel Noel, and we have Megan Tice. Yes, both of them just graduated.
They both graduated. Congratulations. Nathaniel, how do you feel about your band's performance on this track we just heard?
Well, I feel like the most important thing that was on there was that we have fun while doing it. And like, I just feel like if you're having fun, then it doesn't really matter like what award you get, like who's cheering you on. Like, as long as we're having fun, we know we did good.
Yeah. And Megan, how about you? How do you feel about that track?
Same thing. I liked that Alexa said you could get up and dance because that's the point of this music. We are supposed to have fun and have the audience have fun. Nate's right. It's not about how many notes you get right. It's not about all that technical stuff. It's about making people feel something. And I like that we did that.
Make people feel something. That's very profound. So, Megan, you just graduated. What are you doing next year?
Going to Georgia Tech for environmental engineering.
Wonderful. One of our EE alums who works for Chevron was just on the other night talking about it. He's an environmental engineer. So we need you out here. Take the spirit of jazz with you. And Nathaniel, what are you doing next year?
I'm going to be studying business in either Florida Memorial or Jackson State University.
Wonderful. We need you too. You know, both of you, stay on your horns. Don't give them up. You know, keep playing, take them with you. Mr. Dorsey, congratulations again. Another amazing group.
Thank you, sir.
And do you have any final comments as we take it out here?
I just want to say thank you to you guys for putting this festival on. You know, like I said, we're living in unprecedented times, and you guys could have just folded it up and said, no, we're not going to do this, but you pushed and moved forward. So I just want to say we appreciate you guys also.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Chris, thank you, everybody. Congratulations. Up next, our second international band, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, directed by Andrew O'Connell, Blackburn High School.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy O'Connell from Blackburn High School, Melbourne, Australia. First of all, there's some thank yous I need to make. The wonderful staff at Blackburn High School, your passion, your dedication is truly inspirational, and two people in particular that have worked very closely with me over the years within the jazz program, Mr. Dave Palmer and Steve Settergreen. The skills that you bring, the love of music that you share is totally unquantifiable. Our brand new music director, Jason Zeno, ever supportive, ever ready to make things happen. Our school principal, Joanna Alexander, and assistant principal, Caroline Gachon. The support that you show for our endeavours, the appreciation that you have for the arts, ultimately shapes our school identity. And the parents, not just the all-important transport to rehearsals, to performances, the pride that you show in these young people, it gives them courage, it makes them bold, it makes them believe in themselves. Thank you for being their biggest fans. The Essentially Ellington program, the musicians we admire most, Wynton Marsalis and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, bastions of style, music with heart and soul. The clinicians that we've worked with over the years, Mr. Vincent Gardner, Reggie Walsh, Jerome Jennings, Victor Goins, the deep understanding that you have, the knowledge that you are so willing to share, and the love of music is amazing. The Essentially Ellington education team that do so much and make this all happen, Antoinette Henry, Megan Kelly, Todd Stoll, and finally the other musicians from all of these amazing schools. We have watched you for so many years. We have seen the YouTube clips and we have been in awe of what you have produced for so long. We are finally here playing alongside you as part of the EE Festival 2020.
And that was Blackburn High School from down under, Melbourne, Australia, directed by Andrew O'Connell. We want to give the Blackburn High School Jazz Band a quick shout out. It is 5:45 in the morning in Melbourne, and we know they're all together. Hey, gang, we know you all had a sleepover last night, slept in the gym or the band room. So we're glad you're tuning in. Thank you for your music. Thank you for being with us. We love you madly. And Alexa Tarantino with here, one of our judges, great saxophonist and educator. Some comments on Solid Old Man.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, Blackburn. Thanks, Todd. Great to hear you all. Very nice version of Solid Old Man. I would love to hear even more attack and buzz from all the horns. So really don't be shy. Just let it rip with that vibrato and really laying into any articulations and phrasing. I thought the rhythm section did a really nice job of sticking together throughout. And even if there were some instances where perhaps sections were feeling things differently, you managed to keep everything glued together, which was very strong and a very positive thing to hear and to see. And I just encourage everybody to really dig into the swing a little bit more with your eighth notes. Really play along with the records, try to really absorb what the masters like Duke and Johnny Hodges were doing and playing, to really dig in there as much as you can. So thank you and congratulations.
Great. Thank you, Alexa. And again, a shout out to our friends at Blackburn High School. You all can get some rest now. Go back to sleep. Go out and get a Vegemite sandwich for breakfast or something. So we've got more outstanding music coming your way. 25th anniversary of Essentially Ellington, our international festival, right after this message. Coming up now from South Lake, Texas, Carroll Senior High School. Due to an unfortunate error yesterday, Carroll Senior High School was inadvertently left out of the virtual cheer tunnel. So let's please give them a big, warm Jazz at Lincoln Center welcome. The Carroll Senior High School, led by Director David Lown.
Good afternoon. It is a great honor to be here among such talented and hardworking bands from around the country. We are here because of the tremendous support of the Carroll ISD administration, Principal Sean Duhan, our amazing parent organization, and the entire community of South Lake, Texas. To all the clinicians who have helped us, everyone at Jazz and Lincoln Center, Wynton Marsalis, and everyone in the JLCO, thank you for your mentorship, your kindness, your commitment to the development of the next generation. And to my students in the Jazz Orchestra, thank you for an incredible year. I can't tell you how proud I am of all of you. You're about to hear our performance of Fletcher Henderson's Hotter Than L, featuring Taylor Thomas on alto, Chase Adams on trumpet, and Tori Thomas on tenor. This music is rooted in African culture and the struggles of African Americans throughout American history. We give thanks for the opportunity to perform it, and we stand with all around the country who are speaking out for justice and equality. Our band recorded this piece of music with humility, reverence, and love for the great Fletcher Henderson, and we hope that spirit is evident when you listen to it. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
quickly. 3, 2, and we're
And we're back with David Lown from Carroll Senior High School, their performance of Fletcher Henderson's Hotter Than L. We're also here with renowned jazz pianist and educator Helen Sung. Helen, any comments on that performance of Hotter Than L by Carroll Senior High School?
Well, I really enjoyed hearing you guys. I thought it was exciting and fun, and bravo with just dealing so well with the up tempo. That was very impressive. I thought the ensemble playing was solid. The solos were stylistically spot on, and the rhythm section was a powerful and supportive engine all the way through to the end. So that is no easy feat, and also something that's pretty specific in what it requires. It kind of has a, what do you call it, a preset vibe that you have to deal with, you know. So I really give you all high marks for doing such a great job with that and playing something from that time. I think it's important to reach back and play this music that is challenging as today as it was back then, I'm sure. Congratulations.
David, any feedback on that?
Yeah, that obviously we were talking earlier, you and I, about how difficult that piece of music is, and it was tough to record, you know, in one take because it's constantly, there's one little thing in there that you know, so it took us a long time to get something that we were happy with. We wish we could play it again, you know, in New York, but obviously that can't happen. So all in all, we were very pleased with the soloists and everything. And as far as the tune itself, we just love Fletcher Henderson, and we're aware of the fact that people don't play it all the time. So it was fun to kind of deal with some music that isn't played all the time.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this, how do you approach teaching your students? Because again, this is a sound we don't hear very much. Even for students who are into jazz, you know, you're primarily hearing contemporary composers, contemporary concepts of swing. How do you approach teaching something from 1934 with a group of young people?
I think they need to be exposed to the entire ecosystem of the music that was happening in the 20s and 30s, you know, so that they need to be listening to Fletcher Henderson all the time, but they also need to be listening to Louis Armstrong and listening to Duke Ellington during the Cotton Club period. Like it's a whole, just like now we have a musical ecosystem. There's a musical ecosystem back then. And as much as the students can listen to that, I think it works wonders when you go to actually try to rehearse it, you know?
Yeah. And you have a couple of students with you. You want to introduce us to the students?
Yes, this is Taylor Thomas and Tori Thomas. They're related, if you can't tell.
I never would have guessed.
Taylor plays alto saxophone, Tori plays the tenor, and both had solos on this track. And they've graduated now, and we're very, very proud of them.
Great. So Taylor, I assume you're the one on the left. How do you feel about your playing on this track that we just listened to?
I'm really proud of how it turned out as a group. I'm really proud of what our hard work had accomplished. It was probably the fastest chart I've ever played. So like tying the loose ends together because of the tempo and still maintaining good technique and clarity and everything was difficult. But I mean, considering how much time we had and the tempo and everything, I think it turned out really well.
And Tori, how about you? Did your sister just say everything you were going to say?
I just want to add, I had so much fun working on it. It was definitely different than anything I've done before, and working on such a high energy tune was so much fun.
Yeah, and for both of you, alto and tenor, key of G puts you in some very deep waters for soloing. So put you in E and you in A. How do you negotiate through that?
I feel like this piece, more than anything else I've ever played, is more focused on like finding like a more broad like pattern of not necessarily changes, but like finding more patterns that I can fit over like groups of chords instead of focusing on more individual or smaller groups. So I don't know. I feel like that was very helpful. Finding similar keys and stuff to play within the chord changes.
And both of you just graduated. Tori, what are you doing next year?
I'm going to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo.
What are you studying there?
I'm going to study business.
Awesome. And Taylor, how about you?
I'm going to the University of Colorado in Boulder and also studying business.
Awesome. Well, take your horns with you. We need you out here.
Yes.
I want you to keep playing. Again, thank you so much, David Lown, first of all, thank you for recording one of my favorite tunes, you know, that we'd almost never hear.
Yeah.
Congratulations to your ensemble. Congratulations to the community. And, you know, hopefully we'll see you around next year.
We do too. Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, our next band, Seattle Jazz Ed Ellington Ensemble from Seattle, Washington, directed by Kelly Klingon.
Hi, my name is Kelly Klingon. I'm the proud director of the Seattle Jazz Ed Ellington Ensemble. We're stoked to be a part of the historic 25th Essentially Ellington. Being selected as finalists for this festival was so thrilling. It was a first for me, for this band, and for Seattle Jazz Ed. At Jazz Ed, we believe that jazz music, a Black American art form, is for girls, for kids of color, and for non-traditional instruments. We live this value in our programming, in our sliding scale tuition policy, and in our concept with recruiting this band. The Pacific Northwest has a long and deep history of outstanding jazz in the schools. Unfortunately, if you're not lucky enough to live within the neighborhood of certain schools, you're not guaranteed a music education, and certainly not a high quality jazz education. And that's where Jazz Ed comes in. Our nonprofit wouldn't be able to offer opportunities like this one to students without the support of our donors, board, and my awesome colleagues. It's my pleasure to share the recording of Seattle Jazz Ed's Ellington Ensemble with you now. And please remember, friends, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got you.
That was the Seattle Jazz Ed Ellington Ensemble from Seattle, Washington, directed by Kelly Klingon. We're here with Kelly and renowned jazz pianist and educator Helen Sung. Helen, you have some feedback for that track. Very difficult chart on the Asphalt Jungle.
Well, first of all, congratulations to you, Ms. Klingon, and to all your students. And I love the range of repertoire that you chose. Asphalt Jungle, definitely so tricky with all the changes. I thought you guys played it with really good energy and spirit, and I really enjoyed the tutti ensemble section in the shout. Also, a shout out to Mr. Wagner for playing a really good solo. Just something I think, I didn't grow up playing high school jazz band, so it was such a wonderful experience to get to hear all these different schools, and coming at it from later. I guess I started in college. I think one thing I would want younger folks to think about, and it's hard. There's so much to deal with, right? Your notes, your instrument, soloing, improv, but think about widening your perspective in terms of blending within a section, balance within the sections. That I think will also help your intonation, will help your tone, will give you a wider range of colors, and also just polish with the phrasing. But congratulations on a really good job on a heavyweight champion kind of chart. I really, really enjoyed listening to you guys.
Kelly, any thoughts, any feedback?
Well, we just had a blast playing this music together. One of the challenges of a community ensemble is that you don't get to rehearse every day, and you don't have kids that have known each other for years and years. So taking our time together to really focus on playing together so that it comes across like we are long time colleagues. So that's one of the challenges for community groups, but I also think it becomes a strength because it's such a necessity to use your ears to be able to play together. So I think it really enhances our music experience, that experience.
Can you talk a little bit about your programming strategy, how you choose pieces, and why you chose the theme from the Asphalt Jungle?
Sure. I try and choose pieces that will really feature the band that year. And we had a great lead trumpet player all the way, and then depth all
Yes, you did.
yeah, and then depth all through the ensemble down to the lowest trombone, and also a rhythm section that I thought played really well as a team. And so that, and then adding in Brazilians, and then a vocal feature, and I Got It Bad, just to really try and explore the range of the big band.
Mm-hmm. And you have a couple students with you. Would you introduce them to us?
Yeah, I have two seniors. They both go to the same high school. We had 25 students in this band from 15 different high schools. So it's fun to have them both here. And we've got Elijah, our drummer, and Amy, one of our trumpet players.
Great. Elijah, how are you feeling about the track we just heard?
I feel great. As you say, it's a really difficult piece, but having so many talented players and just a variety of styles that they all play with, it's kind of interesting how you put it together. Well, honestly, I feel really nice about the piece, being able to play drums, such a nice swing feel to that. So I really loved the piece. So yeah, it was really fun.
And you're a senior that just graduated. What are you doing next year?
Yeah, so I'll be attending Berklee College of Music in Boston for music business and education, and a minor in conducting.
Awesome. Oh. And Amy, how are you? I mean, being a trumpet player, right? I mean,
yes,
a lot to do in that chart. How do you feel that track went for you guys?
It was a lot of fun. I loved all the trumpet lines, especially during the shout chorus. I just felt there was, like Elijah said, I felt like there was so much variety throughout the song, and I just really enjoyed playing with everyone.
Awesome. And you also graduated. What are you doing next year?
Next year, I will be attending the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I will be majoring in bioengineering.
Awesome. Well, again, congratulations to both of you. Kelly, congratulations to you. the entire ensemble, your nonprofit, and your community. And maybe we'll see you again at another competition down the road.
You got it. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you all very much. Stand by, another word from Jazz at Lincoln Center.
Yeah, tell me when. Todd.
We're back from the 25th anniversary, our international festival for Essentia Ellington, here from the virtual House of Spring in New York City. Next up, from Tarpon Springs, Florida, directed by my Buckeye brother, Christopher De Leon. This is Tarpon Springs High School.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris De Leon, and we are the Tarpon Springs Jazz Ensemble from Tarpon Springs, Florida. It is an honor for us to be here with you all and share this virtual stage with other incredible finalists and international bands. We'd like to thank, of course, Jazz at Lincoln Center and the entire EE staff for all their efforts in continuing to provide these experiences. We're living through very challenging times, and you all have continued to be a beacon of hope, optimism, and joy for us all. We also join you in your support of so many across the world who fight for equality and who fight against the profound injustices of systemic racism. Thank you to our school district leaders, our school administration, and my colleagues, Kevin Ford, Todd Layton, and Janine Ford, for their constant encouragement and support. And lastly, thank you to all our families for your unwavering support and sacrifices for us to be able to do the things that we love to do. Our upcoming selection is entitled Kinda Dukish, Rockin' in Rhythm, and will feature Sammy Hansen on piano, Anthony Engel on trombone, Samantha Cook on clarinet, Ryan Martin on trombone, Chris Faison on alto saxophone, and Andrew Kelly on trumpet. We hope you enjoy.
And that was Tarpon Springs High School from Tarpon Springs, Florida, directed by Christopher De Leon. Joining us here in the jazz chat room, we have Helen Sung, renowned jazz pianist and judge, and Mr. De Leon, a couple of students. Helen, a couple quick thoughts about Kind of Dukish and Rockin' and Rhythm.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Mr. De Leon, to you and your students. I continue to be so impressed with high school students who are playing the great works of the repertoire so well. I really appreciated the enthusiasm of this piece. I thought the horn sections played really well together as individual sections and with each other, and I really loved how the trumpets just went for it. The tempo choice, I'm used to hearing it played fast, but I thought it worked really well. Pianist Sammy did a really good job with the long piano solo and intro. Yeah, definitely. Just that 4-bar break that they do. You know, we always have more time than we think we do. So be careful to really let that breathe. It's so easy to rush that a little bit. You know, I think I came from the classical tradition, and getting into the jazz tradition, I just continue to be so aware of how the conception of rhythm, how jazz approaches rhythm is so different and also so important and paramount. Because, you know, I didn't know what it was called when I first heard jazz, but swing, you know, it's the heartbeat. It's what drew me into, it's just this irresistible forward energy that's never rushing. So it just gets you moving, gets you dancing. And that's what, you know, made me fall in love with jazz. So I just think, as a band, and especially so for the rhythm section, because you guys are the rhythm section, I think maybe how you approach the groove and playing, I would say the impression from the performances, like maybe try and find the groove together versus working really hard to make it happen, because sometimes that can make the groove feel a little heavy-handed or very kind of a little overdone. So I think trust yourselves, trust each other, and let the groove happen, and then you flow with the music. But beautiful, and thank you for a lovely performance.
Thank you, Helen. Chris, any thoughts on your band's performance?
Really love the comments. It was important for us this year to pick music that we all love. We pick it as a group. It's not just done by me. We listen to a lot of things. We discuss some things. And our rhythm section was actually some of our more inexperienced members. The drummer was his first time, Seth, playing in a high school jazz band. Our bass player had learned to play the bass as of June. He's a percussionist and he just started learning in June. So it was important to not only highlight our strengths, it was also important to highlight our weaknesses and force them to come up and develop. So I'm really proud, and we all are, of what we ended up with there at the end.
We have a couple of your students with us. Sammy, a pianist, played that wonderful introduction of Dukes on Kind of Dukish. How do you feel about your performance and the band's playing on this particular track?
Yeah, well, this one has a lot of energy. I'm always jumping by the end of it for sure. I mean, this specific recording was like January, and we've come a long way since then. But at that point, I really felt like that audition day was like, okay, we finally got this together, and I was happy with myself, and I think the band was proud of how we did.
And did you just graduate? You're graduating senior?
Yeah.
And what are you doing next year?
I'm going to FSU next year to study jazz performance.
Great. Congratulations. Chris.
Yep.
How you doing, Chris Faison?
Great.
Alto player.
Yeah.
Had a lot to do on this. Booba dooba 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 dooba.
Yeah.
How'd your section handle that?
At first, it was really hard to sync up, but really thinking of this more as clarinet lead and really balancing to Sam. She's a clarinet player, just balancing of that and finding the quarter note within that, within all the offbeats and stuff, and eventually we sunk in, but it took a little bit of time.
What year are you?
I'm also graduating senior.
What are your plans for next year?
I will also be heading to Florida State University to study jazz studies and music education. So.
Yeah, awesome. We need both of you out here. Come visit us sometime in New York. Again, congratulations, Mr. De Leon. All your students and your community, a wonderful performance. And maybe we'll see you again next year sometime.
We hope so. Thank you again.
Right. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, all the way from Tokyo, Japan, Hamasato High School, the Mad Hatters, directed by our good friend Masaki Shinohara, with Duke Ellington's Happy-Go-Lucky Local from the 1946 Deep South Suite.
皆さんこんにちは。富里高校ディレクターの篠原正樹です。Hi, my name is Masaki Shinohara. I'm a director of Tomisato High School Jazz Orchestra, the Mad Hatters, Japan. We are very honored and excited to participate in International Essential Ellington Festival and competition. I would like to say thank you for Jazz at Lincoln Center, board members, Vice President Education, Mr. Todd Stoll, Tomisato High School teachers, parents, students, Mr. Yuta Akashina, Junji Hirose, Mr. Rodney Whitaker and Michigan State University, Mr. Harlan Riley, Reginald Veal, Ali Jackson, Montreal Jazz Festival Education Director, and my brother, Mr. Paul Contos, and my teacher, mentor, and hero, Mr. Winton Marsalis. Thank you so much for all of you. ありがとうございます。Our students are very pure and shy, but they have great feeling and spirits of swing. We hope you enjoyed our swing. どうぞお楽しみください。
Wow.
And that was Tamasato High School from Tokyo, Japan, directed by great trumpet player Masaki Shinohara, Duke Ellington's 1946 Happy-Go-Lucky Local, the final movement of his Deep South Suite, premiered at Carnegie Hall. Helen Sung, great jazz pianist and judge. Any thoughts on that particular performance?
Hey, Todd. Well, I was really struck by this ensemble's virtuosic playing as an ensemble, navigating transitions and maybe not particularly in this piece, but metric modulations and just one section to another. And I thought the rhythm section did a really great job of supporting throughout, keeping the momentum going, building into and making all the transitions and key modulations. Because I think, with Ellington, when he changes keys, it's more than just a change of key. There's color, there's mood, there's energy, there's shading. And so it's so important to not just play through that. And I thought they really did a good job elevating when it needed to be elevated and moving from one mood, one section of the story to another. And I really enjoyed their performance of Happy-Go-Lucky Local. I thought it was played with a lot of personality, a lot of attitude, and most importantly, a lot of swing.
Yeah, it's a musical onomatopoeia. It's Duke Ellington creating the sound of a train between the rhythm section and the horn calls. It's a pretty advanced skill for a bunch of kids to do.
Yeah. So, and the fact, I love that we have an international band. I mean, how cool is that? And really taking on something that is so signature jazz, signature American, signature Duke Ellington, and really getting into that, that's so impressive. And just give it up to them.
It shows the breadth and the scope of Ellington's genius and his popularity around the world. He was an international star, and his music is international now and still speaks to all of us, no matter where we are.
Yes, and it's just, again, I can't just say enough how I'm amazed that these are high school students getting to know this music, learning the history, getting the tradition, and playing it so well. So I just think that gives me so much hope for the future of jazz. It's in good hands with players and listeners, and it's just awesome.
Thank you, Helen. And that concludes our first part of today's festival. And you can join us back here at 6 p.m. for part 2 of festival performances, the second half of our bands, here from the virtual House of Swing in New York City, from places all over the city. And the 25th anniversary International Online Essentially Ellington Festival. We'll see you back here at 6 p.m. for more great music from all over the world. Thank you.